What's up, y'all? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over S19. It was a previous rotation. I just never had a chance to do a video recording on it and editing the video. So I'm very late to the party on this one, and I know it's a new rotation. However, there are repetitive rotations. Eventually, it'll get back to that rotation. And I'm going to showcase to you all the champions I utilized as a free-to-play player. I am very end game. I've been playing the game for 5 years and 2 months now. So keep that in mind when you're, comparing your account to my account. Obviously, I'm going to have a ton of champions on my account to choose from. But this is how I beat S19, and it's with one of my favorite champions that I utilize in live arena all the time. He is top tier in this stage of Soul Cross S19. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you right to the stage. Now, I did record about a minute into the video already when I recorded, because I wasn't recording at the time. So I'm already like a minute and 11 seconds. That's where we're going to start. So let's hop over there. Let's take a look at S19, and I'll do a full walkthrough on that team. All right, so here we are. I'm going to press play, and I'm probably going to skip through a lot of it, but I want to give you the ins and outs of what I've done in order to beat this. Let me move myself over to this side. It might look a little bit better since I'm kind of looking over this way. So in terms of what I've done, let's go ahead and hit play here for you. All right, so basically I utilize Quargon, the crown. I utilize this rare here as well. He's a provoker. His name, let me just double check really quickly. I have him in my vault here. Gnarlhorn, as well as SAMSON. It's just one of my favorite champions ever on my account. I use them for damage all the time. Of course, if I had a better HP nuker, I would utilize them. I also utilize Krokmar, and as well as the old but gold Steel Skull. So Steel Skull is level 50. Quargon is level 44, but he was going up to level 60 essentially. And unfortunately, I can't go and showcase to you the gear that I utilized way back when I did this recording, because at this point, I've swapped around all their gear. So I don't recall everything in terms of gear, but I'll probably be able to find out as I'm watching. And I did put somebody in, I think, a stun set, and at least one or two of them are in a stun set. And then the rest are like healing. So Quargon is a good healer, good shield champion. Steel Skull is a good healer as well. You know, he can cleanse as well, which is really great, and place block debuff buff, which is awesome against this stage, especially against the Terras. So essentially, the biggest thing about this is you want to be really careful with hitting Marichka. I go for Marichka first only because I'm trying to stun the Terras when they counterattack, or when they just attack in general, I mean. And then SAMSON does the most damage out of all of them. And notice that the block debuff buff stayed on SAMSON there. So really important to have block debuff buff. And then my Krokmar is also like a second damage dealer, but he's in a stun set here for the stage. And then, of course, we've got Quargon, who heals all allies by 50% of their max HP, which is really nice, and places a small shield, which can be extremely beneficial. Quargon is top tier here as an epic champion, as well as Gnarlhorn. The provokes are so big. They're so huge in this stage. So Gnarlhorn, he's in just regular gear, random gear. And I utilize him a lot in my, not Sand Devil, but Shogun's Grove team. So Quargon and then Gnarlhorn, really strong. Steel Skull, also very strong, even though he's level 50. He did what he needed to do to get us to the next stage. And ultimately, I'm trying to stun, because SAMSON is so powerful here. It's ridiculous. You have no idea. His stun on the A1 procs so much. And I think I might have put him in a lethal set. So in the stages here, I put him in a lethal set for full damage, and just kept A1ing over and over and over to get the stun on the Terrasses, because they hit so hard. So Terras is the one you want to kill last. I started off with Marichka. You could probably do it another way if you wanted to, but the reason why I kill Marichka first is because I don't want her reviving anybody that dies before her. So that's what you want to focus on. Kill Marichka first, and then focus on all the other champions. This kind of goes hand in hand with other S19 stages on other rotations of Curse City. So you kind of want to keep that similar mindset and try to get big damage. Another great thing about this is SAMSON can place increased accuracy on the entire team. So if you're having struggles with Gnarlhorn getting provokes, he gets increased accuracy. There you go. If you're having struggles, basically with Steel Skull landing poisons, there you go, increase accuracy. And then boom, look at all the provokes from Gnarlhorn as a rare champion. Big shields here. This is huge, right? This is really huge. I do have, I think somebody, I don't know if someone's in a shield set here. I don't remember. But you could go for a shield set, say like a bolster on Quargon or on the Steel Skull. You could even do it on Gnarlhorn if you want, as long as you can get enough accuracy to land the provokes. That's the really important part. Also, I recommend killing this dude right here, Sulfurion, first in the second stage here, in the second round, because Sulfurion has really good revives, and you don't want him reviving the enemy team. You want to try to keep these dudes right here stunned. I think it was like a basilisk or something like that. I forget what this dude's name is, but I can look it up really quickly while I'm talking to you now. So on the side here, I'm just kind of looking stuff up. It's Basatha. So Basatha right here, very, very strong as well. He has stuns. If someone dies, I don't have a reviver here, unfortunately, so I have to survive the entire way and keep on healing with Steel Skull and Quargon. So you do need a couple of good supports, and then at least 2 damage dealers, and then a third support that's going to help with CC. So if you don't have Gnarlhorn for some reason, then you should probably go with like a provoke set on an AoE champion, and that will be helpful. It's also very strong. Provoke sets are super strong. Do not sleep on the provoke set. It's actually very, very powerful. So Quargon's just doing, he does no damage, right? He's just there for support. Quargon's not there to do big damage, as well as Steel Skull. He's literally there for support. Places the increased defense, which allows you to not die or take a lot less damage at least, and hopefully not die. And as you can see, SAMSON's going crazy with the stuns on the A1. He's so disgusting. This is why I love SAMSON so much. Like, he has so much utility in PvE, especially for the wave content. I think he's probably the best champion for S19 in the game in terms of CC because of how many A1s you can get off. Obviously, if you have, I'm not talking about mythicals, right? I don't really talk about mythicals a ton on the channel because as a free-to-play player, or even a low spender, if you're a low spend player, right? It's so difficult to get mythicals in this game. Other than the free mythicals, which are also still very difficult, like Mikage, because you have to collect all the epics and whatnot. But that's the reason why I don't talk about mythicals. Yes, they're super, super OP in all these stages for Soul Cross, for Curse City in general. But if I had them, yes, of course I would use them. But I don't. And for this stage, I couldn't use a mythical. So, or at least the mythicals that I have were not able to be utilized. I don't recall if you could. At the end, I think I can check. Hopefully I can double check at the end if I was able to pick a mythical, but I don't think you could on this stage. And the sad part is I don't know if I can check to see if the stage tells us which type of champs we needed to utilize to beat it. So it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. The Basathas are very annoying because I keep weak hitting. They're super, super annoying. And essentially you can die from Basathas. Like, you can absolutely die from them because of the stuns. See the stuns? And then they constantly heal up. It's super, super, super frustrating. So if I just kept on getting weak hits over and over and over, and I was getting frustrated at this point. But eventually I stunned them. I provoked them. I kept on provoking and stunning. And this went on for like 3 to 4 minutes or so. Like, it just took forever to kill these 2 Basatha because of all the weak hits from my champions. So frustrating. Like, it literally was like 4 minutes of my time as I continue to go and go and go. I'm already up to 11 minutes now, and I died with Steel Skull, so that ticked me off because they're so powerful because they're positive affinity against your champions. So that's the issue. And then eventually I took him down 12 minutes in. So it was like 7 minutes to 12, like 5 minutes worth of time. And I was like, all right, cool. I pretty much have it in the bag because I have Quargon. You really need Quargon. Also, peep the fact that I didn't attack this dude right here. This dude is super powerful, Jingwan. He got a buff. If you attack Jingwan with a provoke, he's going to place the block debuff buff on the entire team. So you want to provoke or stun or CC one of the other champions. And that way, it'll place the block debuff buff on one of those champions. and then it'll put this skill that he has on cooldown, which is passive. So after you do that, then you can start provoking or stunning other champions. So now if I do get a provoke, there you go. I got 2. I didn't land it on these 2, unfortunately. I think Jingwan's immune to provoke, but I got the provoke on the 2 champions that I needed to, and that's fine because she doesn't do damage and he doesn't do a ton of damage. He's more for like CC and cleansing. Thank God. I mean, he can do damage, but he's not built in PvE for damage. So essentially I'm trying to provoke the Harimas or stun the Harimas as much as possible. And then I'm going for damage and trying to stun with the stun set on Krokmar as well. So towards the end here, I'm just kind of going back and forth, killing the Harimas because there's no reviver here. Once you kill the Harimas and the Jingwan, so you can kill one Harima at least, then you can go to Jingwan, you can go back to the other Harima. Jingwan I killed second because of his annoying passive, and I think he has healing mechanics as well. And then I started focusing on the Harima. And so basically at the end, HP nukers are so powerful for this stage because of how much HP you have. It just keeps you alive for so long. They're almost like support champions with damage mixed in. So, you know, that's why I have Sammy. That's why I have Krokmar. Also, Krokmar does place increased crit rate on your entire team. So if you wanted to, you can go for 70% crit rate if you had Krokmar. So there you have it. It is a team where you can only get Spirit Affinity champions. And yeah, that's it. It's Spirit Affinity, support, and damage dealers, basically. So not bad there. It took a while, but like I said, Sammy is the strongest here, 1.8 million damage. Krokmar in second here because he's not in lethal. But I tried lethal with Krokmar and Sammy together. It just didn't work. So I just put lethal on SAMSON and then put Krokmar in the stun set because Krokmar's A1. As long as it's critical, it'll hit the first champion and then hit everybody. And therefore, you can land more stuns more often. So not bad there. I beat the entire rotation. This was the previous rotation though. I think it was like 1 or 2 rotations ago. So there you have it. I ended up beating it. Finally ended up collecting everything here. And I got 475. And then on the next rotation, I ended up getting myself the Carnage. So it was 2 rotations ago, I think. But yeah, there you have it. That's S19 in a nutshell. All right, so first up is SAMSON. Why is he so powerful? A1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 35% chance of placing a stun for 1 turn. Books out to 45%. If you wanted to, you could even put a mastery for Fearsome Presence. I don't recommend it, but you could. I'd rather just go for the damage with Helm Smasher or with War Master. Helm Smasher, I think, is a little bit better, though. So, especially if you're going to use him in PvP. I use my SAMSON all the time in PvP, in Stone Skin and Lethal. And my Sammy currently is 308 speed, 307 crit damage, 95,000 almost on the HP, 343 accuracy. These were not the stats that I had when I beat that stage. So, he was just in Lethal, but he had no Stone Skin during those waves. And then the next champion I utilized was Steel Skull. So, let me go ahead and pull him up. And my Steel Skull is still in the gear that he was in a long time ago. He was in Impulse to try to reset the cooldown. It's 12% speed. It's basically a speed set, right? And then I put him in the Immortal so he could heal up and hopefully not die sooner. And then he has no books at all. No books. He's never had books. But removes all debuffs from a target ally, heals them by 40%. Increased defense on all allies, heals them by 20% of their max HP. If it's on a 4 turn, it's even stronger. This is on a 3 turn, he's even stronger. And then he places a poison. You do not want to place a poison on your the first wave with the Marichka. If you place poison, she actually does block damage. So you got to be very, very careful of placing poison. And basically what I did is I made it so he didn't have a ton of accuracy. He did have accuracy, but maybe I swapped a gear or 2 to have more accuracy. But you don't really care about the accuracy with the poison. Like, you don't even need this. If they get the block damage, it's more likely than that the terraces will possibly overtake you. So it's not like I beat it in the first try. It took me like 15 to 20 tries just to do it. So a lot of it's based on RNG. Mastery is not complete, of course, because he's only rank 5. But I went for Evil Eye to knock back some turn meter as needed. So yeah, I think you do need accuracy with Evil Eye. And then the next champion was Gnarlhorn. So Gnarlhorn is in random gear. He was at roughly this speed. He was only 179 speed. Actually, no, he was faster before. I definitely had him faster, probably like 220 speed. So this gear is different. Let me just see if I can go to fitting room presets. Yeah, so shield set, Curse City. I think he might have been in a shield set potentially. I just don't recall. But in this, he was 225 speed. So 316 accuracy. So if he was in a shield set, yeah, that Gnarlhorn is the one who I put it on. You could put a shield set on anybody, honestly. But preferably, you want to put it on Gnarlhorn or one of the supporting champions. And the next champion we have is the epic champion there in Quargon. Now he's maxed out at this point on my account, but in the past he was not. He was like level 44, and I have 2 accuracy sets here, so he's already at 255 accuracy. I don't remember if he needs accuracy though. He does not. 30% chance of increasing the duration of a random buff on a random ally. Yeah, he doesn't need accuracy at all. I think I just had him to try to go fast with a lot of tankiness. I don't really recall, to be honest. I think it was just to try to get as much speed as possible. And then I put him in either a bolster, or I'd recommend going in a shield or bolster set here to keep your team alive. I think he was in a shield set though. And you can have at least 2 people in shield. He does not have a preset, which stinks. I must have never saved it. But yeah, I do have a ton of global presets. So I'd recommend a shield set or bolster set on the Quargon the Crowned, which will help keep him alive and as well as the team alive. And then the last champion I had was my Krokmar. And Krokmar, again, the gear is taken off because I've been moving gear around a lot. And he's still in the stun set pieces that I had, but it's not all of the pieces. So he does have a lot of gear taken off. It was a damage set for stun. So I went for damage stun. So basically I would try to go as fast as possible, get the stuns out as much as possible. He is not fully booked, but his A1 is fully booked. So it does more damage. Attacks all enemies 1 time if the first attack is critical. Places a shield on this champion for 2 turns equal to 20% of the damage inflicted. So if he does a lot of damage, he could get a decent sized shield. Also heals him by 10% of the max HP. And then that's for each critical hit. And then places increased crit rate, increased crit damage on all allies for 3 turns and grants an extra turn. So if you max out his books, put it down to a 4 turn, grants an extra turn, it basically makes it a 3 turn. He does do big damage. And then whenever this champion attacks, decreases the target's attack or defense by 5%, as well as accuracy or resistance by 5%, depending on which stat is the highest and stacks up to 30%. So very, very strong champion. I put him in Soul Reap. That helped out a little bit. But yeah, he's not fully booked or fully mastered. And yeah, not bad there. So that's all the champions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully that helps you out. You don't need to fully mastery every single champ. Like I said, Quargon was not fully mastered. Steel Skull was not fully mastered. So Quargon has like no masteries. Gnarlhorn doesn't have full masteries, but he has some masteries, a good amount. And then my other champ, Steel Skull, did not have full masteries either. The only one that had full masteries was my SAMSON. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please consider leaving a like, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel on your way out. Have a great day. Take care.